While rivals are chasing modern trends, Nissan is doubling down on what truck lovers really want: a rugged, no-nonsense pickup with a proper V6 engine and some nice off-road chops, let alone the freedom of choice of different cab and bed configurations. And with fresh updates, the Frontier has just turned into a serious threat to everyone. The 2026 Nissan Frontier has competitors losing sleep, as it is shaking up the truck world big time. Design. The Frontier's evolution has been lasting for decades, but when you look at the 2026 model, it looks incredibly fresh, with contemporary style and lots of fancy details that help it stand out. Of course, typical truck proportions are there, with a rugged look, respectable ground clearance, and chunky tires. What we like in particular, and we'll explain why later, is the fact that Nissan, unlike most of its rivals, has two body styles on offer, with extended or double cabs with short or long beds. Of course, the freshest part of the truck is the front end. The new face stands out with its bold look, with modern headlights that are complemented by the black plastic bumper and trim that rounds the grille. The grille itself also looks pretty impressive, with a modern pattern full of chunky elements and three thin vents above the badge. Several paint options, exclusive styling details for each trim level, and lots of customization options are there too. We can start with the Pro X and Pro 4X models, equipped with unique black plastics across the tailgate, as well as a fancy afterburn orange finish. Altogether, the Frontier, although usually seen as one of the most straightforward pickup trucks on the market, comes with the styling of anything like that. Moreover, it's one of the better-looking models in the class, with aesthetics that certainly represent a strong selling point. Performance and ride quality. We've just mentioned the Frontier's straightforward design, and if there's a perfect example, that would be the powertrain. The Frontier's engine lineup is simple. There is just one option, and that one is an old-school 3.0-liter V6, which puts out 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. Unlike most rivals, which have switched to Turbo 4 units, Nissan still sticks with large displacement, naturally aspirated units, which may lack low-end torque but offer linear power distribution, let alone the fact that 6 cylinders are always way smoother than 4. The engine comes coupled with Nissan's 9-speed automatic gearbox, which is smooth and with shifts that are mostly in a timely manner. Base models are rear-wheel drive, while a 4-wheel drive setup is optional, and in both cases, this combo of engine and transmission works very well. The Frontier is reasonably quick, with 0 to 60 miles per hour in a little bit over 7 seconds, which is pretty much on par with rivals. Clearly, there's plenty of passing power on the open road, but that's just one aspect of the Frontier's quality. The chassis and suspension setup also shine, even though the actual setup may seem pretty basic when checking the specs. At the front, there's a double wishbone with a stabilizer bar, while the rear end sits on a solid axle with good old leaf springs. Obviously, such a setup provides a good balance between comfort and work capabilities, but the Frontier actually rides better than a typical truck. With chunky tires, it has the ability to absorb most road imperfections with style. At the same time, the amount of body roll is minimal for a pickup truck, so we could say there's a lot of engagement in its ride. Another reason for engaging handling is the steering, which is heavy and quite precise, with lots of road feedback. That's great for the open road, but some drivers might not like it, because there could be too much hassle in situations where lots of maneuvering is required. Capable and versatile. The beauty of the Nissan Frontier is that, even though it's a pretty straightforward pickup truck, it's also quite a well-rounded pickup, which can be a reliable work companion, a solid off-roader, or a smooth driver, depending on the configuration you pick. But no matter which version you pick, one thing is for sure: it doesn't lack capabilities. Most rivals offer higher max towing ratings, but it's not always easy to reach those claimed figures. In most cases, you need to pay extra for some tow package, or get some other upgrade to use the full towing potential. With the Frontier, every model is capable, including off-road oriented Pro X and Pro 4X models. Almost all variants are within 500 pounds when it comes to towing. Of course, the most basic variants with rear-wheel drive are the most capable, with the max rating going up to 7,150 pounds. But four-wheel drive models don't lag behind either, even when loaded with standard equipment and off-road features. So even the Pro 4X with the short bed is actually good for a respectable 6,680 pounds, which is more than pretty much every off-road oriented midsize pickup on the market. Strong towing capacity isn't the only thing to love about the Frontier. As mentioned, it's quite versatile, and that can be seen through the variety of cab and bed configurations. Unlike American rivals, which have all gone through a simplification process and now come with nothing more than a crew cab and short bed on offer, the Frontier remains one of the rare models in the class, with different body styles available. If you're looking for a work companion, then the King Cab version is the perfect choice, as it comes with a long 6-foot bed, but still has 2 rows of seats. Of course, the second row isn't particularly generous with space, but still, rear hinge doors provide pretty easy access. On the other hand, comfort-minded buyers can choose a crew cab model with full-size rear doors and lots of space in the back seats. But the thing is that even with the crew cab, this Frontier can still be a pretty capable work machine, considering that, besides the standard 5-foot short bed, it's also available with a 6-foot bed, which represents pretty much the ultimate version of Nissan's midsize pickup. Interior design. The Frontier's interior looks modern and appealing. The build quality is good, while the dashboard looks fairly attractive and combines that nice look with decent ergonomics. Of course, the large infotainment screen dominates the center stack, and we like that it's easy to read and pretty straightforward. What may not be so simple is the design of steering column mounted controls, which may not be the most intuitive around. Speaking of the steering column, the tilt and telescoping steering wheel don't offer as much movement as rivals, so some drivers may have a tough time finding the perfect driving position. Still, despite these few things to complain about, the Frontier still offers some pretty impressive things on the inside. No matter the version you pick, King or Crew Cab, you get the famous zero-gravity seats at the front, which are widely considered some of the best in the business, and ensure all-day comfort. The front row also offers plenty of leg and headroom, while the rear seat comfort depends on the version you pick. The King Cab's back seats are tight, though rear hinge doors provide pretty easy access. Of course, things are much better with the Crew Cab model, which is pretty much on par with classmates and accommodates 5 people pretty easily. Besides an attractive look, solid build quality, and a fair amount of space, the 2026 Nissan Frontier also stands pretty well with interior tech features. Base models come with an 8-inch infotainment screen, but there's also a 12.3-inch unit on offer. Among options, you can also find goodies like wireless smartphone charging, a 10-speaker Fender audio system, and many more. As for safety, all models come standard with automatic emergency braking, driver attention warning, and trailer sway control. But there's much more to get in upper versions. So let's take a closer look at trim levels and what they offer. Trim levels and pricing. The 2026 Nissan Frontier starts at a little bit over $32,000. And for that kind of money, you don't only get a V6 powered pickup, but standard features like wired smartphone integration, 7-inch digital instrument cluster, 4 speakers, Wi-Fi hotspot, push-button start, and many more. The SV trim starts at nearly $35,000, and one of its key upgrades is the larger 12.3-inch touchscreen, which also unlocks wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Furthermore, you get 6 speakers, upgraded upholstery, and an 8-way adjustable driver's seat. Heated seats and power-adjustable mirrors are also part of the standard equipment. The Frontier SL is the most comfort-oriented version on offer. With a starting price of around $42,000, This model brings a host of additional standard features, such as navigation, remote start, LED daytime running lights, surround view camera, and auto-dimming rearview mirror. Then there are convenience features like leather upholstery, a power-adjustable passenger seat, a heater, and leather-wrapped steering wheel, a sunroof, a spray-in bed liner, and many more. Finally, a few words about off-road oriented models. One of them is called the Pro X, and even though it comes exclusively with rear-wheel drive, we classify it as an off-roader, considering that it comes with Bilstein off-road suspension, all-terrain tires, and a skid plate. The price starts at around $39,000. The Pro 4X, on the other hand, comes standard with four-wheel drive as well as additional off-road upgrades, such as steel skid plates that protect the transfer case and fuel tank. Of course, the rear locking differential is part of the standard equipment, just like the low-range gearing is, just like various traction control modes for mud, sand, or rocks are. It may not be as off-road capable as TRD Pro or ZR2, but this $42,000 Nissan is more than good for the vast majority of enthusiasts. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.